If you owe back taxes to the IRS, you already know that they charge all sorts of penalties and interest, and even interest on top of the penalties. Given enough time, the penalties and interest can explode your balance into something that seems impossible to fix. In this video, I'm going to discuss exactly how much the IRS charges in penalties and interest, right after the intro.
1-877 Levy King, Levy Levy King, 1-877 Levy King, LevyKing.com.
What's up, guys? Corey Hankerson here from Legacy Tax, and they call me the Levy King because I've helped thousands of clients with unfiled returns, back taxes, tax liens, and that's right, IRS levies. If the IRS took your check, the Levy King will get it back. 1-877 Levy King, LevyKing.com. I'm also the author of End the Tax Nightmare, Insider Secrets to Beat the IRS and Reduce Your Tax Debt. Inside the book, I'll show you how to stop IRS levies, liens, and garnishments without paying the tax in full. How to set up the payment plan that you want and not the one that they want, and how to potentially settle your tax debt for less than you actually owe. My book has been a top seller on Amazon for years, and you can buy it right now for $19.99. But I want to give you a copy of the book absolutely free. Just go over to my website, that's www.endthetaxnightmare.com. Enter your name and email, and I'll send you a copy right away. No charge, not even for shipping, totally free. Now, before we go further with the video, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel and smash that like button so you'll be notified each and every time we drop a new video. Okay, guys, let's dive into today's content. The first penalty we're going to discuss is a big one. It's the failure to file penalty. When you don't file your tax returns by the April 15th due date, the IRS charges 5% of the tax that is due every single month until you file your return. 5% might not seem like a lot, but 5% per month adds up quickly. The next one is the failure to pay penalty. When you file a tax return with the balance due, the IRS gives you 10 days, just 10 days to pay that balance. If you don't pay the balance within those 10 days, the IRS is going to charge you a penalty of 0.5% every month until the tax is paid in full. If you enter into an installment agreement to pay the tax debt, the monthly penalty is going to drop to 0.25% instead of 0.5%. The next up is the accuracy-related penalty. Now, the accuracy-related penalty comes into play when you file a tax return that significantly understates the amount of tax that is due. The penalty amount is equal to a whopping 20% when the error is caused by simple negligence, but it can increase to an unbelievable 40% or for a more flagrant, i.e. intentional flagrant file, right? Putting that into context, let's say you file a tax return that shows a balance of $1,000, but it really should have been $10,000. You're gonna owe the $10,000 plus a penalty of either $2,000 or $4,000 on top of the $10,000 tax itself. If you're self-employed, you are probably required to make estimated quarterly tax deposits to the IRS. If you don't deposit your estimated quarterly tax payments, or you make the deposit late, the IRS is going to charge you a penalty, which will be determined based upon how late you made the deposit. So for example, if you're a day late, the penalty is 2%. If you're a week late, the penalty is 5%. If the deposit is really late, the penalty can be 15%. In addition to the penalties, the IRS also charges interest on the tax and also interest on the penalties. The IRS is required by law to charge interest when you don't pay the amount you owe on time. Generally, they charge interest from the due date of the return, regardless of extensions. And that is until you pay the amount you owe in full, including all penalties and interest on that balance. The interest rate is calculated based off something called the federal short-term rate, plus an additional 3%. The federal short-term rate is set by the Federal Reserve. So the current short-term rate right now is 4.1%. So right now the IRS is charging interest that is 7.1% compounded annually. Now, let's take a look at a typical example to get a feel for how this might actually play out. Let's say you failed to file your returns for 2021, 2022, and 2023. You file them now, and they each show a balance of $10,000 or a total of 30 grand for the 3 years combined. But once the IRS tracks on the failure to file penalty, the failure to pay penalty, plus interest on the tax, as well as interest on the penalties, you're going to owe more than $16,000 for each tax year, or over $49,000 in total. And that's if you pay it in full right now and you don't require a payment plan or something like that. The interest and the failure to pay penalties will continue to accrue even after you have filed all the returns until the balance is paid in full. Even if you set up a payment plan, the interest continues to compound quarterly while you're making payments. It is not uncommon for a person's balance to actually increase despite making monthly payments. This is because the interest is continuing to raise the balance faster than your monthly payments are bringing it down. Now, there is some good news. You may qualify for relief from some of the penalties if you've tried to comply with the requirements of the law, but you weren't able to meet your tax obligations. There are strategies to get the IRS to remove some of the penalties and even maybe a little bit of interest. But that's for another topic, for another video. Now, I would assume that you're watching videos about IRS tax debt, interest and penalties and all that kind of stuff because you owe back taxes, right? You got a little IRS situation going on here. If you owe back taxes to the IRS or your state, I want you to know that there are special programs in place to help you get a fresh start and get out from under this tax debt. But how do you know if you qualify? You see, no two cases are exactly alike. So how do you know exactly how much you can settle for? Well, I've created a free tool to help you get a fresh start. Just head over to www.levyking.com or click the link below. Follow the prompts and answer a few simple questions, and we'll help you figure out your eligibility. That website again is www.levyking.com, Levyking. Or you can just give us a call. You can call us at 1-877-LEVY-KING. That's it for this week, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
1-877-LEVY-KING, Levy, Levy King. 1-877-LEVY-KING, LevyKing.com.
Owe back taxes to the IRS? Call the Levy King. He's the best. 877-LEVY-KING, LevyKing.com.
1-877-LEVY-KING, LevyKing.com.